Okay, this is a short video showing how to hide tokens with Netlify functions and to use Netlify Dev while doing so. So you can clone the example repo, but you can really just use any example. This is just a vanilla HTML project with some stuff set up for it. I have it cloned locally, and literally this is all it contains. It shows a little hello world.js for the functions template, and then in the public folder, it's got some scripts, some HTML, and some CSS. Obviously, bring your own build tools for other frameworks that you might be using. And it's got the Netlify toml. I already have it linked to my particular site. You're going to want to go ahead and, when you clone the repo, either Netlify link or Netlify init, depending on whether you have it deployed or not. Definitely try to learn the difference between the two. Init is for brand new, and link is for existing sites. I already have that link, so I'm not going to do that. So now, what I'm gonna do is show the use case. And so what we have here is we're gonna spin up a token hider. Okay, so I'm gonna spin up Netlify Dev. I have that alias to ND, but literally you just type Netlify Dev, and we go over here. Basically, this is all it spins up for you. Then this is this exact repo, and all this spins up for you is when you click, it pings the backend, it pings the serverless function, it pings the hello world, and it looks for a parameter. If you don't give a parameter, it just says world. So here I said it says Netlify because that's the parameter I gave over down in here. So feel free to explore that yourself. That's a very sort of introduction to how functions work inside of Netlify Dev. There's no proxy server or anything. We run that for you. Now, so what we're going to do now is actually scaffold a token hider. Let's say we have an external API that we want to use in our app, but we don't want to expose the API to the outside world. So what we're going to do is add a new function. We have that provided as a template. So it's Netlify Functions create or NTL Functions create. Or for me, I have that alias to NFC. And that just brings up all the templates that we have available for you. And we're going to go ahead and select the token template. It's taking a while to load, I think possibly because I have a local dev version of this. I'm not sure. All right, token hider, and it scaffolds out a new function for you, right? And it installs all the dependencies available for that function, which is really just Axios. Like we want to be able to query data, and you can install whatever else you want inside of this folder, and it will be zipped and deployed when you ship it to production. And so now let's look at the token hider example. And here it deconstructs these structures from process.env, API token, and API URL. But I don't have that defined anywhere in my project. So when I commit it to Git, I can share that project open source, but still have my secrets. And instead, where I configure that is down in here with the environment variable. So over here, I have my environment variable set up for the site that I've linked, which is, for me, it's vanilla HTML example. And over here, I've defined an API URL and an API token. You can just name it whatever key value pair you want. And here we're just basically taking advantage of the I can has dad joke API and just taking this part as one part and this part as the other. There's no real pattern as to what you want. Insert your key, insert your URL, make it however dynamic as you need to hide it from people who are trying to look into your source code. And so over here, what we're going to do is we just need to append. We're not going to use any of this parameter stuff. And we're just going to append the URL to the token because that's just how their API is set up. But obviously, your use case may be different. You may want to use the query string parameters, particularly to make it more dynamic. Here, we're just pinging one little function. And so that's all you really need to do. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're just gonna say, okay, well that just shows you the end result, but basically it's going to be contained in .netlify functions token hider, right? Which is exactly the name of that particular folder and file. And so now it's gonna run function not found. Why is the function not found? I need to reload the token hider function. I need to reload Netlify Dev because I scaffolded a new function that did not exist um, when Netlify Dev was first started. That's probably something we want to fix eventually, but whatever. And you can see that here that's injecting whatever I've defined on my console. And so now when it runs this code with the injected environment variables inside. And this is in local dev. So here when I reload, it's saying it's giving me all the HTML. So I should probably also give it some headers. Headers set application JSON. All right, so that reloads, and that should give me a proper JSON, which is exactly the joke that was requested down here. And so then we can display that here, and not be revealing uh, any of the API secrets in our network request because we're just pinging a Netlify function in the backend, and from the Netlify function, then we're going to get, and then when we get, we pass it back down again to our app. So that's how you sort of hide the tokens that you need to keep confidential. And obviously, the last step to do all this is Netlify deploy. Netlify deploy for previews and Netlify deploy prod for production deploys. And that's about it. I think I'm just going to wait to show you the live example so that we can prove out that this does work both in localhost, right, and in live. So I'm just going to copy this part over. Yeah, so it works exactly the same, local and production, and that's how you do it. Cheers.